understanding value statements. So this includes exercise 13, understanding your younger self's perspectives, and exercise 14, reframing values from your trauma inventory. So this is where we're going to do that much deeper work from our trauma inventory of, and this is the part that's going to take longer. If you think it was gut wrenching to write down all of your trauma and have it all laid bare, it can be much more tedious to meet with each version of yourself and address the value that they assign to it. And so the point of the value statements, like we were talking about in the last video, is really to see what beliefs were formed by the things that happened to us. And again, I want you to understand that healing, really what it is about readdressing the beliefs that you've internalized over the things that have happened, therefore healing your relationship with yourself. Now, you might think, I uncovered a trauma that my mom heaped upon me. This is a value statement that I assigned to that trauma. So I'm going to go to my mom and I'm going to address it. And I'm going to tell you that the work that I'm asking you to do has nothing to do with anybody else. It has everything to do with you. Has nothing to do with anybody else. All right. If that is work that you want to do later to heal that relationship, great. But that is not the point of this work. The point of this work is to address what you have experienced, your pain, what you have internalized, and how it has affected and impacted you. All right. As you're doing this work, it's very easy to say, well, my mom heaped this trauma on me, but she was also traumatized. So most of us, when we do that, because we lack a lot of the emotional maturity that we need to do this in a really healthy way sometimes. And that's why I'm here to help you. But what we're really saying when we do that is that our pain is less valid because she had a reason for doing what she did. Now, I'm a great fan of understanding people's perspectives. I think it is helpful just for me understanding that I'm not at the center of it. I think it's helpful for being able to give people the grace that we all deserve. But I never want you to do it in a way that is self diminishing. And that's where it can be harmful. Those versions of you that exist that have suffered pain are already used to being ignored. They're already used to not being heard. Their pain has already been delegitimized. So you cannot do that to yourself. If you want to like have grace for your mother because she was traumatized too and she had very legitimate reasons for being as damaged as she was, that's beautiful. But that does not change the impact of what she did to you. That does not change how you have internalized your pain. Conversely, there's a lot of people who they don't want to address their pain because they think if they let go of the pain that someone else caused them, that they are saying, I forgive you. They really do believe that if they let it go, what they're doing is letting the person off the hook. No, you're letting yourself off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook. Okay. Again, this isn't about them. This is about you. You can clear the energy and still restrict access. You can clear the energy and still find comfort in the fact that what goes around comes around and everyone is going to get theirs. But what is important is to start centering yourself in your healing. This isn't about your father. This isn't about your mother. This isn't about their dysfunction. This isn't about their punishment. This is about your dysfunction and the ways that you are punishing yourself. All right. And until we get to the meat of that, you will not feel free to create a life for yourself. So we need to clear all this old stagnant energy that you are dragging around. A lot of times I hear clients say they feel heavy, they feel lost. It is this energy that you're carrying. It is heavy. It is a burden to have to carry all these suitcases with you every day. It makes it harder to exist. It makes it harder to be healthy. It makes it harder in individual relationships. It makes everything harder. So I know for me, I'm looking to have an easy, kind, soft life. That means that I need to be easy and kind with myself. So as you're doing this work, I want you to close your eyes and go to the jungle. I want you to call in each version of yourself. So the trauma, I was molested at 3. Okay, so I'm going to call in my 3-year-old self. And I'm going to tell my 3-year-old self everything that I needed to hear at 3, everything that I need to hear at 3 to counter my very immature beliefs. Okay, I'm going to find the value statement first. And then I'm going to affirm the opposite. So if I, at 3 years old, assigned a value of I deserve to be hurt, I'm going to put that little girl in front of a mirror. Look at yourself, sweetheart. You were innocent. You never deserved this. You never deserve for this to happen. I see you. I'm sorry this happened. I will protect you from now on. Okay. That's how you let that little girl heal. Now, that might not be healing all at once. Truly, that might not be healing all at once. That might be healing that a conversation that you need to have with yourself a few times, many times. All right. But every time you meet her, when she comes to you and she says, I'm hurting, this thing happened to me when I was 3, I'm still not over it, you'll just give her a little bit more love. You'll hold space for her. You'll give her some compassion. You'll affirm her, and she will grow beautifully. She will heal. She will heal in time. All right. So, this is important work. It's grimy work, but it's some of the most productive work that you will do in the context of your healing. So, take your time. This isn't a rush. You don't have to finish all the value statements before you move on to the next portion. Do what you can when you can, right? Do what you can when you can and take rest when you need to. It can be really hard to see it all laid out. You might feel like you are the biggest mess in the world. I know the trauma inventory reminds me a lot of when I go and I meet a psychiatrist for the first time and they're asking me as part of my intake, okay, give it all to me. And I'm like, I don't want to like relive. I don't want to bring it all up. It can be hard to see it all because in seeing it all, I know for me, I used to think, well, I am the common denominator in all these things. Well, yeah, because it happened to me, not because I was the cause of it. In many cases, because I was a victim of it, right? And while I don't want you guys to be caught in victimhood, I do want you to acknowledge the times and the ways in which you have been victimized. I want you to legitimize your pain. I want you to validate your hurt. I want you to affirm your strength. I need you to start growing in your own self sufficiency to self regulate and to self determine in a really radical way. Right? And that's going to take intention. You're used to moving a certain way with yourself. I'm asking you to stop moving in the same dysfunctional patterns that have not served you and to start dealing with yourself with integrity, compassion, love. Okay, that is vital. So you're going to go through everything, every trauma that you feel comfortable. You're going to get to the level of the person who suffered that trauma, and you're going to look at what values they assign to that. And it might be ridiculous, right? To you. So, mom gave away my dog. Mom doesn't love me. Mom's always going to take away the things that matter to me. The things that I love will always leave. Nobody cares about my feelings. I'm not a priority. You could have put a lot on something that for your mother feels like the most simple thing. She had her motives, right? The dog was causing a disturbance. She couldn't give the dog the best life that it wanted. And you might know that intellectually. As adults, maybe you've talked about it. You might understand that doesn't change what that very immature child said about what happened. Doesn't change that those emotions that were packaged away around that. That's where we must address it.